Hello everyone. I know it's been a while, but another video. So, I've been seeing a lot of people comment on YouTube and stuff like that about the future of WoW. Because if you love WoW, or even if you've loved it in the past, game is 14 years old. That's very old for a game, and it is starting to show some signs of wear and tear, which is normal after 14 years. Not for people, obviously, but for things. So I'm going to list, based on my own observations and things that I've read and things that I've seen, the top three things that Blizzard needs to do to make WoW not only attract new players, but continue to hold on to old players. All right, number one, and this may be a little bit controversial, but it's fix the skills. Quite honestly, skills have gone downhill for a very long time. They have not been useful in quite some time. And the reason is anything in the top tier of skills that you make is useless for your character as a general rule. I mean, by the time I was able to get enough hydrocores and stuff like that to craft gear at that top level for my leather worker, uh, my gear had already outpaced it, and it was completely useless. So in other words, that time that I invested in the skill, pointless. So what they need to do is they need to accept that not everybody is a hardcore mythic dungeon player or raider, and by ensuring that they have to get those items like hydrocores and stuff like that, and in a large quantity to craft usable gear, the majority of people are not even going to try. They may do it because they're bored and they like the look of it, or just to be completionists, but that's it. And that's actually really, really sad because when I first started playing WoW back in 2011, I'm not going to say that I've been playing it forever because I haven't. I remember skills were actually something useful for a character to have. I mean, yeah, you weren't crafting the top level of gear, but you were actually crafting gear that was useful to you as you adventured. Not nowadays. Nowadays, as a general rule, I mean, if you do take the time to craft something, maybe it's good for a level. Maybe. Realistically, it's not. It's not even a level. I mean, that's items wasted. It's like, so why is anybody bothering to do skills? And if you look around, not very many people are. I know that Blizzard has said in 8.2 they're going to have like quests for like legendary skill items and stuff like that, but I think that's a little too late. They need to fix the skill system so gear that the skills provide is useful for a player who has invested the time in them. I'm not saying that that gear should be the same level as somebody who is mythic rating or running like a mythic 10 plus keystone. I'm not saying that. What I am saying, however, is those players who are not doing that never intended to get that high level gear in the first place, but they would like some kind of level of gear. And by forcing players who do not want to do those things to participate in those things, you're driving them away from a part of the game that used to be a decent experience. Number two, clean up the old zones and storylines. This is a big deal. Back when I started in 2011, it was Cataclysm. And I remember doing some zones, and you do a quest, and you're like, okay, what happens now? Because you immediately go to a different zone, and that storyline you were working on doesn't transfer over to this new zone. I was very invested at the time. I was trying to impress somebody, and I also am a big lore head, so I started reading all about the lore and stuff like that, and so it helped make a lot of sense. For a lot of new players, the game's 14 years old. They're not going to read all this backstory and lore to try to understand why this zone they were just in suddenly the storyline cut short. They're just not. And that's a huge deal because I understand Blizzard likes promising, selling level boosts and stuff like that. It means a way for them to make money. I understand that they are a company, and a company survive by making money. However, I do think they're doing a disservice to all that years of story and lore and experience. Granted, you're not going to get the same experience for a brand new player coming in. They're not going to have that same level of emotional investment that a player who played it for the first time when it was unveiled is going to, that kind of emotional investment. They're not going to have it. They can't replicate it. But they do need to make sure that new players understand what's happening. Whether this involves them completely changing the zones or maybe making it one of those where you go and the quest giver says, oh, I remember when this happened. Here, sit down and let me tell you a tale. And then you role play, you play through that old scenario as your character, but you understand that this is somebody telling you the story. This is not your character interacting with this, because realistically, if you're playing, like, let's say, a High Mountain Tauren, you understand that the Burning Crusade happened. You understand that the Cataclysm happened, all right? It did affect you. You are aware of this. This is not brand new experiences. So they definitely need to work on the storyline. They need to clean that up. And I understand it's a huge undertaking. And maybe break it down into chunks. Like, okay, let's say in this patch, we're going to do these zones. In this patch, we're going to do these zones. And it would take them a while. But I honestly think that it would help reel in new players who understand that they're going to actually be able to relate to and understand why the game is the way it is today, instead of just going through old zones and being confused about, okay, why is everybody making a big deal about this character? This character's been dead. Why do they not understand that this character is dead? Are they stuck in a time loop? Things like that. And the third thing I think Blizzard really needs to do is they need to stop trying to please everybody. To paraphrase the expression, if you go out and try to please everybody, you end up pleasing nobody. And I understand that Blizzard and WoW, World of Warcraft, is different things to different people. I understand that some people love pet battles. I understand that some people live for PvP. I understand some people are hardcore raiders, and they love doing mythic keystones. I love some players, like myself, PvE. Almost never PvP. Don't care for it, but I love the lore and the story and gearing my character up the best that she can be, or he, depending on my tunes. But the problem is Blizzard is trying so hard to please everybody with World of Warcraft. They really are. And that's a huge mistake, because by doing so, they end up alienating people. They really do. And then these people leave, and then they go to try to draw those people back. So these people leave, and they try to go draw those people back, and these people leave, and and they're like the little Dutch boy putting his finger in the dike trying to stop the leaks, and new leaks keep springing up. They need to decide, okay, we're going to do these, let's say, 3 things really well. We're going to be for hardcore raiders and mythic keystones, because I do consider them kind of in the same category, because it's kind of the same mindset. We're going to do really good PvP, and we're going to do really good lore and story for PvEers, all right? And that was an example. And yes, I left out pet battles. I didn't do that specifically because I'm like, I hate pet battles. Personally, I'm not a big fan of them, but that's me. I'm not trying to say that pet battles should be discarded from WoW, not at all. But what I am saying is the fact that they keep trying, they're stretching themselves so thin. And by doing so, they're really, really negatively impacting the game. You get players all the time going, well, this isn't what I signed up for, and I'm paying $15 a month. Why am I paying $15 a month for things like that? So, and as a little bonus addendum, I know a lot of people talk about the cash shop. You can buy mounts and stuff like that. And while I will say that I buy cash mounts all the time because I like the way they look, I do think that you should be able to earn those mounts through the game. It may take you some work, but you should be able to, because, and I agree with this, somebody says, I'm already paying you $15 a month. Why do I have to pay more for something in the game that I should be able to earn in-game? And I agree. So they should be able to, if somebody wants to buy that Pixis, I'm probably saying that wrong, the Flying Pig mount. If somebody wants to be able to earn it in-game, they should be able to do so. It may take them a while. It may take them 2 holiday events to actually earn up enough for it. Whatever the lunar coins or whatever currency is for that holiday event. It may take them a while, but they should be able to do it. They shouldn't have to strictly go to the cash store to be able to buy it. Blizzard would still make money, because some players, like myself, would be like, I really don't feel like doing that, but I like this mount. It looks really cool. I'll pay the $20 for it. And then you have other players who are like, I really like that mount. I don't got 20 bucks to spare, but you know what I do have? I got a lot of free time right now. I'm going to go ahead and grind it out and get that mount. So those are my thoughts. Please, I would love to hear from you. If you think I make sense, do you think I'm, it's going in one ear and out the other? Do you think I have no clue what I'm talking about? I will admit I'm not a game designer. I'm just armchair quarterbacking this. So I would love to hear your thoughts. Please drop me a comment in the section down below, and go ahead and give it a like. I do not film as many videos as I used to, and that's just because life has gotten in the way, and that happens. But if you are new and you do like what I do, go ahead and subscribe, and hopefully maybe I can continue to make more videos in the future. All right, everybody, have a great day.